Hey, good morning, Wixman Ray. We're back home after being on the road for a while now. It's been like, what, a week and a half since I've been home. Today's Monday, March 9th, 2026. So the other day when I was talking to y'all, when I was out in Kansas City, they had, tornado sirens that woke me up around, 11:45 or 11:30, somewhere around there, middle of the night after I'd fallen asleep. And at the time, there wasn't any tornado reports. Um, at least what was it, the next morning, I think, when I talked to y'all. But they did. The National Weather Service went out and did their damage survey, and they confirmed they had an EF0 tornado. I also want to correct myself. The other day I mentioned F0 through F2. That's from the old days. So technically they call them EF0. They enhanced it, So I'm stuck in my old ways, but hey, it's the same thing to me. So yeah, EF0 is your small tornadoes, but they still cause some damage. They ripped up some trees, and I think they did some power line damage, and I don't know if there was any damage to homes. But here's the tornado path on from one of the news stations there in Kansas City. It was out near Shawnee. It's on the Kansas side, in Merriam, Kansas, on the which is on the western side of the Kansas City metro area. So yeah, there was a confirmed tornado. So kudos to the National Weather Service down in Pleasant Hill. That's where the office is. I actually worked there before. I worked there what, about 10 years ago. Actually, no, it's been 6 or 7 years ago. So kudos to the office they for putting out that tornado warning, because there was a confirmed tornado, EF0. Winds got up to 75 miles an hour, so a weaker tornado, but it was on the ground for 7.87 miles, almost 8 miles. But it was real, 50 yards in width, so did minimal damage, which is good, and it was on the ground from 11:34 p.m. to 11:45 p.m., which is when I got woken up by the tornado. Luckily, I was up kind of north of where the path was. I was up here closer to I-70. I have a son that lives down in Shawnee, but luckily it missed him. It was kind of north of him too. So yeah. Anyways, enough of that. So that's what happened. So I just wanted to give you the correct information and what happened, because I mentioned there was no tornado reports, and but this happens a lot, is especially with the weaker tornadoes. There may be some wind damage out there, but after the National Weather Service goes out and does their surveys, then they can confirm whether they believe it was tornado damage or just straight line winds. So, yeah, either way, straight line winds can cause that, but they had enough, confirmation and evidence to confirm a tornado. So, kudos on them. And I just wanted to give you that good information. Um, so today will be another active week, at least for through about Thursday, for thunderstorms again. We're looking at our satellite here, our RGB. So we got some. It's rather quiet across the United States. We got two little storm systems that we're looking at, really, for the most part. We got this little front up here across Montana, and then stretching back into northern Idaho. Just a little bit of light snow with that system. Nothing too big is going to come of it. Um, and yeah, I mean, but for you can see on the satellite, a lot of the United States has got nice weather. We do have a lot of cloud cover across the south, up into southern Illinois, and a good chunk of Texas and back here into Louisiana. And there is some thunderstorms going on back here, and it was in eastern Oklahoma, but it's moved mostly into Arkansas and up into parts of western Tennessee. It looks like there might be a little activity down in Louisiana, possibly some showers down here in Texas, but we'll look at the surface observations. Um, yeah, and then a little bit of some higher and mid-level clouds going across the Northeast, but they're experiencing really most of the United States. Is well above normal for temperatures. Up here, this is the coldest part of the United States, up in this area, Montana, North Dakota. more parts of northern Minnesota, and that's like close to normal, where it's in the 20s and 30s right now. The rest of the United States, I mean, even up here, I think I saw it was in the 50s, 40s, and 50s is out there, and it's what getting to be about noon out there now. So yeah, um, we do have this. You can see the spin down here near the Baja, California here. That's gonna help, and you see this moisture streaming up out of the Pacific up into Mexico and some of the clouds are getting up into Texas. So this is going to be our next spring storm. I call it the classic spring storm, where you get a cold front, warm front, low pressure, well-defined, well pressure system with you got snow on the cold side, and rain and thunderstorms, and even severe thunderstorms on the southern, the warm sector of the storm. So yeah, so that's what's going on. So relatively quiet. Just a few problem areas today, but it'll get more active as we go into the week, especially starting tomorrow. Here's our surface obs here. Still some scattered showers up across the Pacific Northwest. What's new? Um, and here's that snow back up into Montana. A little bit of gusty winds, it looks like, coming off the mountains in Montana too. Maybe gusting up to 40 in spots. But yeah, so there's looks like maybe a light to moderate band of snow up there in parts of Montana this morning. It's 9 o'clock out here. I think they're in mountain time, so it's 10 o'clock out there. And then a little bit of snow showers developing out in North Dakota. And you can see it's in the 20s and 30s. A little bit of winds from the north developing back here, gusting up to about 30, 25 to 30, but nothing too crazy. Nothing like the winds I had yesterday driving through Wyoming, man, between Cheyenne and Laramie and up to Elk Mountain. Oh my gosh, the winds were like probably 60, 70 miles an hour. It was insane. Out there today, it's a lot quieter. I mean, they've got breezy conditions. And man, the number of truck drivers, oh my gosh, I've never seen so many truck drivers. I think the storm they had on Friday out there, and then those, you know, um, strong winds over the weekend really delayed the truck traffic. So the truckers were like jammed up at all these truck stops and the rest stops. I mean, it was insane. A lot of truck traffic on I-80 as I headed home into Nevada here. So yesterday, so crazy. Yeah, but otherwise, I mean, other than that precip up across the north, the rest of the west is really quiet right now. It's starting to warm up out here on their ways to 60s for the most part up here in Nevada and Utah. They're 40s and 50s right now as they're warming up this morning. Relatively warm across Southern California and the desert Southwest. They're in the 60s for the most part, some 50s back in New Mexico. They should warm up into the 70s and 80s today out there. Pretty warm across Texas. I mean, look at that, 70s, 60s. Just it's warm for this time of year. Um, Even deep South Texas is 84. Looks like there's some fog and drizzle, a little bit of patchy stuff out there by Austin, Texas, and Houston. So yeah, got a little bit of that going on. A little bit of winds out there in West Texas, but what's new? And Oklahoma. When I lived in Oklahoma, it was always windy. So they had a song about that, but I won't sing it. So here's those storms we saw that are moving into Arkansas. Don't look like anything too severe, but there's some showers and thunderstorms going through here, and that'll kind of be the story today. Showers and thunderstorms down in this part of the world. Looks like some showers, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and some of this. Some of it looks weak, but you got some activity going on in East Texas and parts of Louisiana. Even some real weak stuff in Mississippi, but not much to write home about. Yeah, so that's what's going on down there. So that's where your most active weather is going to be today. And then even up into, look at this, I mean, 60s, 50s. Look at that, Syracuse is 64. Along the East Coast, 60s and 70s. I mean, it's almost 70 degrees in DC. Beautiful day today. I mean, look at that, even up into Maine. I mean, Caribou's 47. You got 50s way up here. So well above normal for the first week of March. Spring is springing, so maybe locking up the groundhog solved the problem. Maybe we're only getting 4 more weeks of winter until instead of 6, you know. Anyways, I'm just messing around. So, anyways, hey, that's what's going on the surface observation chart. So model's still loading, but I think we got enough to talk about what we need to. So this is we'll just go. So this is through the rest of the day. So basically from East Texas up into Arkansas, even poking up into a little bit into Illinois and Kentucky, and then back down through Alabama, Mississippi. It looks like some showers and thunderstorms will be pretty common. There's a threat of some severe in here. I'll show you that from Storm Prediction Center right here. Yeah, especially across Arkansas, northern half of Mississippi and Alabama, and then surrounded by that even into Louisiana a little bit. So I think the primary threat was wind and hail. Yeah, a low chance of tornadoes, but so definitely a chance of some strong to severe thunderstorms down there today with all that, you know, warm, moist air down in that part of the world. So that's what's going on there. This little cold front here will continue to press across with a little thin band of snow going across North Dakota and Montana. And then you got some mountain snow, valley rain across the northwest up here. And then you got a system up in Canada, but really not affecting the U.S. Even Maine's in the warm sector. So yeah, and then you start seeing some showers kind of coming into Arizona later to late this afternoon and tonight. Might be a little thunder mixed in, so don't be surprised if you live out in Tucson or Phoenix if you get some rumbles of thunder tonight or something. So or late afternoon. So and then back here, this stuff will still be ongoing tonight, even into the overnight hours tomorrow morning. Back in the all the way up to like Cincinnati and Louisville and Memphis and parts of Atlanta and Birmingham. So all these areas down here, showers and thunderstorms overnight. So they'll stay relatively warm and moist with some welcome rains, I guess. And then there's going to be a little bit of spotty mountain snow out here, but nothing too significant. That's Tuesday. We'll go through the day on Tuesday, and then this is where we start seeing the changes here. So we get this low pressure developing on what we call the lee side of the Rockies. So that would be on the east side of the Rockies, which I told you a while back. This is common area for what they call cyclogenesis, or where low pressures form. And that's what we're seeing again with this system that's moving out of the northern Rockies. And you can kind of see here we got some rain, and this is going to be showers and thunderstorms across, parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, into Texas. Some lingering stuff, showers and thunderstorms across New Mexico on during the day on Tuesday, and even parts of Arizona. And you see this front, so this is going to be like a warm front stretching across, Kansas, northern Missouri, back up through towards Chicago, and then kind of hugging the Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, up and all the way up into really the northeast U.S. And then south, there's going to be some scattered showers and thunderstorms out ahead of this whole system. So, yeah. So we're kind of in that warm, humid air mass out here, unstable air mass, especially during the daytime. And so this is going into Tuesday night and Wednesday. You see that nice band of snow developing on the north side. So from say South Dakota, parts of North Dakota, even northern Nebraska, up into Minnesota, Wisconsin, up into the UP of Michigan. They're going to get, looks like the heaviest snow, at least what the models are indicating right now, will be parts of northern Minnesota and northern Wisconsin up here. There'll be a little bit of snow in other areas, maybe a few inches, but that looks like where they could see anywhere up to a foot of snow possibly. That's the current prediction now. But, this is still about 2 days out, so we'll see if that changes. And you can see the low pressure's formed. It's already formed, but it's moved pretty rapidly up into Missouri and then back into Michigan by Wednesday morning. And you just see a lot of rain, showers, and thunderstorms pretty much all the way up here through the Midwest, the whole Ohio Valley, down through the Tennessee Valley, and parts of, Texas and Arkansas, near the Arklatex region there on Wednesday morning anyways. And yeah, on Tuesday, let's go back to that for a minute. I've kind of skipped over the severe part. So there's going to be some severe thunderstorms back here, and then I'll show you where they've got them forecast here on the Storm Prediction Center. So we'll go to day 2. So yeah, so West Texas, looks like the best tornado threats will be across West Texas, and then up across from, Kansas City will be on the edge of it, up towards just south, maybe near Chicago, just south of them, through, northern Illinois, northern Missouri, and up into northern Indiana. That's the best risk, it looks like, for tornadoes up in there. So they've got I think, an enhanced risk or moderate risk up there, yeah, in that area. You can see where that orange is right there. So there's a risk of severe, and then wind and hail. Looks like a pretty good hail threat up there too, in the northern parts. Again, that same general area where the tornadoes will be, and then West Texas is notorious for large hail and supercells all the time. So yeah. All right, so yeah, that's Tuesday. So along that low pressure that's developing, that'll start probably Tuesday afternoon and go through the overnight hours. So definitely a threat of severe. Watch out for tornadoes and winds starting Tuesday, going all the way through Wednesday, and probably beyond that. We'll take a look here and see what's going on. So yeah, so we're going back to Wednesday. So this is by Wednesday afternoon, evening time frame. So we've got that low that's moved up into parts of, what is that, up near, just out into Ontario, almost just near Detroit there. We still have some lingering snows back here on Wednesday across the north, but relatively, I mean, they're showing maybe some mixed stuff in parts of Maine, maybe, but maybe some snow, but mostly rain. It's really warm. So you see showers and thunderstorms basically from, parts of Michigan, New York, all the way south, Pennsylvania, Ohio, down through Kentucky and down into, Louisiana and Mississippi, Arkansas, and down into parts of East Texas. So, and this will be for our day 3 outlook. So this area will see a threat of severe weather as we go through the day on Wednesday. And so this was Tuesday. So let's go to our Wednesday chart. So this is today, that's Tuesday, this is Wednesday. So here's our So yeah, from, the Arklatex region, Louisiana, East Texas, parts of Mississippi, all the way up here, that general area where I was telling you, they have a threat of, at least a slight risk of severe. So I don't think they break it down on day 3 for the wind and hail. I don't think so, but yeah. So there's going to be a threat all the way through the middle of the week for severe thunderstorms along that system. A very classic low pressure with this is the cold front, the warm front up here with the snow on the cold side, and thunderstorms, severe at times down in the warm sector. So. All right, so this is Wednesday night. There'll be ongoing storms going on across parts of the south and the southeast. And as we go into Thursday morning, yeah, it looks like it starts to press towards the southeast U.S. and it looks like the front, it's still a front, is starting to weaken. It looks like the northern part of the system moves off into the Atlantic, and the snow moves up into Quebec area and stays out of our area. Maybe extreme northern Maine might get in on a little bit of snow on the back end of the system. But so yeah, during the day on Thursday, and then this is gone by Thursday night. So that's maybe just some lingering storms across Florida now. And then we got our next system here. So we'll focus on the west. So, through midweek, yeah, you got the normal up here. Looks like the next low kind of shoots out on Wednesday, Thursday, and by Thursday afternoon, it looks like a little low, some gusty winds, pretty strong winds probably up around here in North Dakota and Minnesota. It won't have much moisture coming in from the Gulf because of this system, but looks like you'll have some snow up in Minnesota again and north parts of North Dakota, and that kind of trucks into the Great Lakes as we go on through Friday, and that'll bring in some colder air. And then this is where we see a little dip in the jet stream by the end of the week, out here across this part of the the northern plains into the northern Midwest up into the Northeast. So yeah, so more snow possible as we get into Friday for say New York and up into Northeast U.S. at least parts of it. So, and then we got another system, and we're getting out here into the weekend, which is 7 days out now, and we got another system coming out of the Pacific Northwest and Northern Rockies with another band of snow in that same general area. And that's where all the cold air is going to be this week, is up here. And then by the end of the week, it'll come over here. But nothing no Arctic outbreaks or anything. Definitely looks like colder air, though, starts to settle in up northern plains by Saturday. So threat of snow up here by the weekend. But yeah, other than that big storm, we'll see a couple other storms just kind of skirting the north near the border states there. So yeah. So this is Saturday. So that's as far as I'm going to go. And then it looks like maybe another plain storm tries to develop on Sunday. But I'm just kind of curious. Whoops. Let's go look at what the European models got. Yeah, they've got some sort of storm out there. They've got different timing on it. They're a little bit slower moving that in to the plains, but yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. So, but yeah, keep your focus on especially if you live out in that part of the eastern half of the country. Watch out for showers and thunderstorms, and maybe even some severe weather again. All right, I think that's all I've got for you today. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking my videos, for commenting. I haven't been able to respond to all the comments just because I've been busy traveling and doing other things. So, this is, anyways, this is Wixman Ray out.